I'm going to ask Lush to first give me a cigarette and second, tell us a little bit about Joey Badass versus Rayvon, because I'm not going to lie, these are not two artists that I've really listened to a lot in my life. You know, I listened to a couple Rayvon songs. Joey Badass, I think I checked out his first album when it came out back in the day, and really ain't been tapped in with his music at all since then. And then I spent a good chunk of my day today catching up on all these diss tracks, which at first I thought I was going to be able to avoid. I didn't think I was going to have to listen to this content, but it's slowly turning into something you can't really avoid. So tell us what you know or your understanding of how this rivalry popped off, because it seems like everybody on the West Coast is now dogpiling Joey Badass.
But am I mistaken? Is Rayvon? Is he from Long Beach?
Yes.
You better watch out, because Brandon gonna come for you, bro. So before you start, be careful and handle Rayvon's name with care, bro.
He's gonna have you in the jiu-jitsu class, Rayvon.
No.
And it's a huge L that I don't think Rayvon has done any bars where he's did a King Von word flip.
Oh, he totally should.
That's the easiest thing ever. I don't know if
there you go, Rayvon.
I don't know if he listens to that kind of music. He might not be thinking like that.
But okay, so first of all, I want to say that this is an actual real mentholated Newport.
Are you serious?
And I gave you one too. So basically, first of all, you don't appreciate a Newport. Second of all, so this beef started. That was very Pusha T-ish. I like that.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to say that this segment of the podcast is sponsored by.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do the whole thing. Yo, BBL is crazy. He's about to start acting different. Yo, I was just listening to I was listening to Young Scooter like crazy ever since he died, and he said, "I sold more dope than Pusha T." Pusha T never responded to that.
He sold more dope than Pusha T raps about, because we know that Pusha T wasn't even the dope dealer in his family.
Oh yeah, remember when Vlad had that whole arc where he interviewed the manager and all that?
He was the good kid. Malice was really the D-boy out there. And that's why Malice is now.
Yeah, that's why he had to find God. He had all the bodies.
So this beef really is kind of interesting when you look at the beginning of this.
Rory and Maul.
When you look at the beginning of the whole Joey Badass entering the chat, kind of seemingly out of nowhere, you feel me? And years after
they pointed out to me that he'd been picking this fight for a while now, though.
Well, okay, so in the intro track to his album, the most recent album he put out, I believe it came out in 2022. On the intro track, he said, the Holy Trinity, me, K-Dot, and Cole. So he tried to say that's the big three. Now, I'm going to be honest. Joey Badass, you are delusional.
Yeah, that's super delusional.
And look, you're delulu than and it's not based on skill. Because Joey Badass is an incredibly skilled lyricist. He rap his ass off. But we really haven't seen too much growth from him since he was 16 years old and dropped the 1999 album in 2012. And he's essentially been making the same song.
You got something personal with him?
No, I'm a fan.
Yo, but a lot of people seem to think, though, that he really is still the best rapper from New York.
Nobody feels that way.
Well, it seems like I'm listening to all these podcast clips of people talking about it. It's they have some sort of deep reverence for him, because it's who of the younger generation, and not like he's that young now, but who from the younger generation is really representing lyrical hip hop coming from New York that is actually reasonably popular?
Well, if you define lyrical as strictly true school boom bap 1990s inspired hip hop, then yeah.
But I feel like that's kind of reductive when you listen to all these disses about all these people and stuff. I don't feel like he's just stuck in that box.
What do you mean? He's 1,000. That first of all, that epitomizes that box. Him rap battling somebody.
He's only 30. I thought he was way older.
That's why I said that album came out in 2012 and he was 16. Okay. Do the math.
I think a New Yorker.
Damn, I thought he was older than 32. He only 30.
He's been focused on his acting career for the past several years.
I think a New Yorker, their opinion, it get evaluated more.
I remember listening to him for the first time in probably 2008, 2009.
No. He was 13.
For real?
You never heard
in my head, there's a flash song.
2012 is when everybody heard him.
For real?
That's when
I could have swore I was still in New York when he started dropping albums. But maybe I was listening to mixtape before the album.
I'd be really even surprised if that were the case, because I don't think even But regardless, Joey Badass is a great lyricist, but he's never been what he views himself as.
You could F with him on a mic? You think you could spar against him?
I for sure could, but like it's not about me. You feel me? I'm just an armchair quarterback. You feel me? Don't worry about. I'm not taking my personal skill level into account when breaking down other artists. You feel me? Like, but regardless, he's a great rapper, but he hasn't even focused on being. He's not no king of the New York. That was a self-appointed title. Him making the Jay-Z reference when he made the track to set off this whole little thing where he's seemingly responding to Kendrick is really being butthurt that people look not at New York City as the epicenter of lyrical hip hop anymore.
But don't you think that from Joey Badass's perspective that this is like it's kind of hard to get people to care about anything outside of Kendrick at this point, the Kendrick and Drake. Like it's almost like 50 back in 2003 where it's like if you want to matter right now, if you want to be part of the mainstream narrative, you almost have to interject yourself into that exact conversation.
To a degree,
he should have glazed Drake. He should have became a Drake rider.
I mean, but I think for thing is more him like holding down like this is real hip hop. This is New York. We're the epicenter of this. And I feel like losing that stronghold, he feels like he needs to be the voice because he's like the self-appointed king of that genre or whatever. But I don't think he really has that. I've never even heard someone from New York be like, Joey Badass is really holding it down for us. Like, I've never heard that narrative. Like,
y'all
if anything, they fuck with Dave East.
Right now from New York,
huh?
And get their opinion. Somebody has
you don't think he's better than Dave East?
I do personally think that he's more like lyrical, but I think that Dave East, more like the streets of New York, probably favored Dave East. They for sure favored
Dave East is
they for sure favor Jim Jones. They'll still even favor they'll favor old fools like Jadakiss and Jim Jones than they more Joey Badass. Like the streets of New York.
But we can't pit Joey Badass against people 20 years older than him.
Yeah. No, we can't. But him trying to act like he's has this lofty title of the king of New York lyricism.
Les, you got an issue, bro. You got some smoke.
What? Because I'm giving a genuine, honest analysis.
Yeah, I don't think we should act like it's a personal thing. He's just judging Joey's place in the game.
Yeah, no, that's completely wrong, brother. Like, no disrespect.
I ain't gonna even lie. When I first heard this, it kind of confused me because when Joey, because Joey is tapped in on the West Coast. Like when he come down here, you know, like you know what I'm saying, like he rotate with homies and all that. So like when I was hearing it on the West Side, I was like, you know, I had to like read, like listen. I'm like, well, maybe he just coming like from the standpoint of just some hip hop, like you know what I'm saying, like it's sport. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
He is.
Yeah.
He is, but he's still like low key. He came at like Kendrick, but not really. You feel me? He's still kind of like on his dick.
But bro, like I was watching a clip where Smack was saying that he's actually had like they've been on tour with Joey Badass, that he's been in fights where him and Joey Badass had to get each other's back and shit, talking about being on tour with TD back in the day. According to Smack, behind the scenes is really love between TD and Joey Badass, and shit, which is why I think you could see Ab-Soul in the same cipher as Joey Badass, even when he was kind of going at it with Rayvon or going at Dot or whatever. But either way, it's kind of bizarre to see Joey Badass, who is somebody I've never heard people on the West Coast talk about, and now you got a significant percentage of the West Coast clout chasing off of him.
Well, so
yeah, because
he had the gall to interject himself into the Kendrick conversation.
All right, but this but look, for me, I think he interjected the West Coast in it because the bar, all y'all riding on West Coast
too
dick.
Much West Coast dick licking, which by the way is a Jay-Z bar, if y'all don't know, from the song 22
We know.
I don't.
Well, I know.
You know.
Yeah, but just the whole swag in the video, he was trying to like on some Jay-Z, the Rulers back and all that. So it was like just like Jay-Z theme, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, but I think that's kind of like what made everybody else jump into it like that line right there. Like, hold on, y'all, you should have just like left it about Kendrick. Now because when you say West Coast, I mean, you could like Kendrick is Kendrick, but the West Coast, that's the whole coast. It's a lot of people, and you basically implemented like the rappers, like y'all on West Coast dick because Kendrick started bringing a lot of people out from the West Coast.
And here's the thing, you're 1000% right. And I can give a track for track of all these disses breakdown right now. And before, or if I even do that, I will say this, that ultimately Joey Badass should be more mad at the fucking his own city for jacking drill music over boom bap. They don't give a about you. You shouldn't be mad at the West Coast. Be mad at fools that want to listen to K-Flock and D thing and all these fools instead of yo ass because you're washed up making boom bap music, regurgitating from the 90s. You're not even really doing it right. You feel me? Like that's the because Joey Badass would have drowned in the 90s when it came to the talent pool of elite lyricism. He was never would have been a dude. He would have been an underground rapper. He probably would have had to deal with Rockets Records, which is great. He would have been with like Mos Def and Kweli. No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Tell me.
I don't know. I mean,
also he was gonna be like Big L. He was gonna be like Big Pun. He was gonna be like Mobb Deep. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Okay,
I'm wrong. No, he's making underground hip hop. His first song was a DJ Premier. His first first badge of honor, rite of passage was a DJ Premier beat. Like, you an underground rapper, bro.
You listen to Dodie Six over here.
No.
He's like, yeah, he's trying to get the feeling back.
No, somebody called and I just cleared it up.
So really, that's who he should be mad at is like his own city for no longer supporting the style that they created.
Pop Smoking it.
So you're saying that he should be beefing with New York for not giving him the support that he apparently feels like he deserves, and instead he's kind of going at the Kendrick throne. I mean, honestly, when I heard too much West Coast dick licking, I'm just thinking of the fact that there's a lot of people on the West Coast who basically have become professional Kendrick glazers because that's like the only way for them to get Twitter engagement is by just shamelessly heaping praise upon Kendrick. And I do find that kind of unseemly. And it's kind of weird when you see people acting as if the West Coast is so on top right now when the vast majority of West Coast rappers, like who really has motion right now on some kind of big level outside of Kendrick?
We got more motion than we had before as a coast.
It definitely helped rise. The rising tide helped all boats. But
we got a SZA, we got a Dot.
She ain't rapping.
But we got
SZA not even like.
But she's selling out.
Yeah, but we're gonna give her. We can get Tyler the Creator, cool. But in terms of like rap, we talking about Joey Badass. We gotta talk about rappers.
Artists.
Nah,
SZA not from here.
She's not from here.
She just signed.
Okay.
But what you said earlier, Adam was right about them being friendly because Joey he had a bar about, I should form TDE East. What's up, Top? Like the whole thing, he's like glazing. Like even throughout his disses, it's still like acknowledging Kendrick is the king.
If I'm Joey Badass, like why are you going back and forth with Rayvon? Like he's just not established enough for him to be a logical person for you to be going to war with.
No,
he's the lowest on the totem pole as far as TDE goes. No shots, but that's just the fact.
Rayvon?
Yeah.
Let me tell you why he's going at them, because he can't go at Kendrick, he can't go at Absol, you feel me, because he sucks his dick, you feel me, like he can't go at Joey. Let's be honest, bro, if you really had smoke like that for that squad, you would have been like, and by the way, Solo but nah, you ain't really like, you ain't activated like that. You was letting you just like sending little friendly shots, and it makes sense that he beefing with Rayvon and Daylyt. Why? Because they're the ones from TDE who are outside and want smoke. They're the ones who responded. Now,
I think J-Rock would have responded though.
J-Rock too big to respond. But how about that?
That's
J-Rock would have responded.
But how about J-Rock too big to respond?
He would have did it though.
The thing is
he
that
would have, but he too big to respond.
All these older TDE members have like a relationship with Joey Badass from back in the day, besides Rayvon, because he isn't old enough or hasn't been around long enough to have been on these tours that they were apparently sharing and shit like that. So he's like the one person. And Rayvon in this Back on Fig clip I seen, he says like, you don't think I got permission? Meaning like basically TDE upper brass had to basically tell him that he was allowed to sort of stoke these flames.
Not only that, but Daylyt was on a podcast recently where he said that he's getting a gang of FaceTimes from Absol at like 5:30, 6 a.m. He's like, what the fuck? I ain't gonna answer. Like, what the why? I don't need to talk to Solo right now. What's up? And then he get another FaceTime and he's like, oh, Absol don't really be FaceTiming me like this. Maybe something's like wrong. Maybe I should answer. So he answers and he sees Kendrick's face. And all Kendrick do is just look at him. He's just staring at him.
Staring at who?
At Daylyt. You feel me? And then he smirks.
Why?
And then because he's like, that's Day's way of saying Kendrick told him, get him.
So Kendrick can call in a hit by just looking at you.
Kendrick called
just stares at you.
He stared and smirked. The smirk. This is straight out of Daylight's mouth on a podcast.
Wow, that's crazy.
He read the energy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
So let's talk about the diss tracks, right? Daylight's first diss, very, very strong.
I didn't even get deep enough to listen to the Daylyt songs. Let me be honest. I was just listening to Rayvon and Joey.
Daylight's first song was powerful.
Yeah, Rayvon got off. He was talking about calling up 4 extras and all type of shit.
Did he? See, I'm not deep enough. I missed that part.
Somebody gonna crack up the coast, call up 4 extras. He named a lot of people.
Okay.
It was a very like Rayvon, like he took the West Coast. Here's where Daylyt and Rayvon are making a mistake, right? They're not doing the West Coast way of dissing. You feel me? Like you guys are playing too fair. You're being too lyrical. You're like covering within the lines. Nah, we want to hear, like we said before, calling out names by Corrupt. You feel me? Because why? Look, when Kendrick said, I'm a Muslim on Poke, I'm the king of New York. You feel me? On the what was it? The Control Verse diss track. First of all, that's a Corrupt reference. If you know anything about hip hop and you're from the West Coast, you know that's a Corrupt bar. You feel
What
me?
was it again?
I'm a Muslim on Poke. I'm the king of New York.
Oh, yeah,
you feel me? Like, and that pissed off all of New York because really they're still mad that the Dog Pound knocked over the Twin Towers. They're still butthurt about that. You feel me? Even Jay-Z said it himself. Like,
not really the Twin Towers is crushing the buildings, the bro.
Yeah.
That shit was AR. Yeah. That shit was AR. They got brushed on right before that. Nigga, why they mad?
Exactly. But just the audacity of dissing the Mecca. You feel me?
Somebody came through, pop like 1 or 2 shots.
Yeah, ain't nobody get dropped. There ain't no pack to be smoked on.
That's enough, nigga.